Peace, peace, salutations. Word up, word up. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, peace, salutations. Excuse me. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, peace, salutations. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, peace, salutations. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You know, if you a 70s, 80s, then you was born with some hip hop. You know what I mean? You came up in hip hop era, so you got hip hop. Those of us that was born in like 60s, the late 60s, probably middle 60s. No, because my uncles and them was off PE and all that, and they would have been in their 60s. So wow, they was born in their 50s, I think. Late 50s. So if he was born in the late 50s, 60s, 70s, then you got some hip hop in you. You have a right to thank you for leaving. I'm here to talk about Derek Chauvin. I'm here to talk about Derek Chauvin. I'm here to talk about Derek Chauvin. And in the meantime and in between time. In between time. In the meantime, in between time. Just came back from Jumu'ah. Yauma Jumu'ah. Alhamdulillah. Mass. Tuning in momentarily. Mass entertainment. Mass entertainment. What's good, sister? Hello, how are you? It's all good. Take your time. I ain't going nowhere. God willing. Take your time. Take your time. That's why I put the thing up, because I'm having a bite to eat anyway. So in the meantime and in between time. In the meantime and in between time. I'm good, man. Just came back from services, Juma services. I'm okay. I feel great. I just, Derek Chauvin he gets sentenced in moments away. He about to learn his fate, man. When me and the brother Payne, we had covered this. The judge had denied his request for a retrial. He tried to get a retrial. It's Friday. People at work. People out and about, moving around, cashing their checks. Stopping at the supermarket. But in the meantime and in between time, And it's like, well, since I'm by myself, it gives me a chance for anybody that's gonna maybe possibly sit and listen through the whole live. And I can't please everyone. You know, as much as I try to, it's impossible to please everyone on this with this social media thing. It really is, and I really try to. But I just want to ask the people who come on my lives, and you know what I mean, and you know, Bill, I would very much appreciate. And it's something that I'm working on too myself right now. I would very much appreciate it if you didn't use any profanity. Like I said before, I have people from, and I'm not trying to just have one. You know what I mean? Because that's not right. That's not Islam. Islam ain't just you just help one particular. You know what I mean? Or you just here to lend your ear to one. Nah, we ain't about that, man. However, you know what I mean? I do be having people, like I said, I have my grandparent, my grandmother or whatever, you know what I mean, and my uncles and stuff like that. And I just would, you know, it's something that's been taught and instilled in us from no, not the cops. They haven't even started yet. Derek Chauvin actually was his judge just tried to his lawyer just asked the judge if he could retrial.
Who killed him was an ex-hell felt around the world. But is justice really achieved if we don't achieve lasting reform?
As the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act stalls in the Senate, one city in New Jersey may already have a plan to take policing in a new direction. Here now, Nightline co-anchor Byron Pitts.
Members of the jury, I understand you have a verdict. Verdict, count one. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
Justice in this one case for this one family. Finally, it was not denied. But too many days, a new injustice. Over 1,000 people have been killed by the police in the years since George Floyd's murder, even despite more than 100 new reform laws. It may be true that the law cannot change the heart, but it can restrain the heartless.
The country has given us the opportunity to lead.
The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Advocates hoping his death could serve to finally push through historic changes to policing across the country.
We have 18,000 police departments in the United States, 18,000 ways of policing. That needs to be modernized, professionalized. There needs to be accountability, there needs to be transparency, and there needs to be accreditation.
But federal reforms have stalled. The Floyd family on this grim anniversary, meeting with President Biden and lawmakers.
We need to be working together to make sure that
Meanwhile, in Minnesota, George Floyd's sister Bridget disappointed that 1 year later, the act still hasn't passed.
Biden has broke a promise.
For so many people in this country, there's no time to waste. What did you think when you first saw the George Floyd video?
I couldn't agree. It's symbolic to how we come up.
as black men and women in this society. That somebody's on our neck.
Damon Durden grew up in the streets of Newark's toughest neighborhoods.
When I seen the police, I would run. And I was a child. I didn't even do nothing. I looked at them as an occupying force.
Newark, New Jersey, Brick City, where in 2016 the government used a powerful tool, a consent decree, to force change in Newark. And the results, at least for now, are staggering. Crime has been steadily down. And in all of 2020, not one Newark police officer fired a single shot. Not one.
How is that possible in a large city in America?
That's just one example of the results of all the work that's been going on in the city of Newark over the last at least 5 years, right? The Department of Justice issued their findings report. Anything you can think of as being wrong in policing in the U.S., they said was happening here in Newark, from bias in stops, searches, and arrests, excessive force.
It is a handbook on how not to police.
Yes, exactly.
The consent decree compelled the city to make changes. They created and rewrote policies, hired more social workers, and greatly increased the diversity of its force. Now some within the city hope Newark could be a model of reform for the entire country.
Come on over. I already know you know good suit. All right now.
What does the old guard say about this? Are they buying this?
It depends on who you talk to. But yeah, I think they're buying it because they see that it's necessary. Some of them, I think they see that the old practices can't continue.
That's just for camera, bro. Believe that. That's just for camera. That's just for camera, man. Now, if they saying that's you know you know what I'm trying to say. And they try to say that he didn't knowingly, you know what I'm saying, that they try to say that he murdered him. Queen Victoria. Slow. Hey, Penelope. Over there. Over there. I'm sorry, baby. Oh, you're so pretty. What? Damn. And he's been held in solitary confinement since April. Since April, he's been in solitary confinement. Asked me if I have any, sympathy or remorse. Almost birthday, King. It's just, keep saying moments away, man. Huh, baby? 2:45.
Oh, 2:30. My bad.
Sentencing at 2:30. Moments away. What you mean, Mom Brew? He might be somewhere else.
Mom, my eye hurt.
I heard.
Yeah, my eye hurt.
Mm-hmm. Wa alaikum salam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Angel Ortiz, my extended family.
Mommy, when In the bye. In bye.
Let's just hope we don't have another Rodney King, man. You know? Let's just hope we don't have that type of situation.
Excuse me, Dad.
You're excused, baby.
I bet.
We gotta, let's just hope that we learn from that. You know what I mean? And we don't allow ourselves to man, make things worse. Like burning up our neighborhoods and all stuff like that, man. That don't bring no, that doesn't help anything when you destroy something that they got insurance on. Like you're not helping solve anything when you do that. You just bring more danger. You know what I mean? Now, for the people who don't have transportation and has been dependent on walking to these stores because they're walking distance, now have to look for another source, you know what I mean, to go to another store that's farther away because you're damaging these stores that's in your neighborhoods, man. Real talk, man. Pharmacies and the pharmacies that these women, these older sisters and brothers, or people that, you know what I mean, rely on these pharmacies that's nearby. And now because you destroy these places, and like I said, y'all know what they said, man. If you wanna keep something from us, you put it in a book, right? Why they say that? If you want to keep something from people, to put it in a book. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna read it, man. And then when they do read it, they just skim through it. Sometimes you gotta read a sentence or a paragraph 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you gotta read it over and over again, and it's okay. It's okay to do that. I do it all the time. But once I get it, I got it. Always been like that. You know what I mean? Certain teachers and things like that, I would have to explain to them to listen, like, you gotta have patience with me. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Wow. You heard what the sister said, man? Fresh. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Yeah, ODP, yeah. Dusty. Dusty. I'm gonna stop saying Blockathy name because he making videos off me. He doing skits on me and all that. Heavy with the views. Heavy with the views. That's a fact. And for those who just came on, you know what I mean? Very beginning, I was just trying to say how I try to do my best to please the people, man. And sometimes you can't make everybody happy. It's just the way it is. Dealing with a lot of different personalities, man. A lot of feelings and emotions. We gotta man up, man. The men have to man up. and use your hikmah, use your wisdom instead of your feelings, man. Use your wisdom. It's a reason for everything, man. It's a reason. Things just don't happen for nothing, man. It's a reason. Everything. Like the sister said, she had a dream, you know what I mean? And she don't even be dreaming like that. And in her dream, it was the end of the world. So far has changed. Not little, not too much, but a lot. It's like, how can I explain it, man? Like, not too much has changed in a sense. Like, it's still, you know what I mean? A lot of violence, a lot of, drugs, selling drugs, people getting high, and things like that. But it's just the amount of violence has increased. Like, the percentage rate, if you look, sit down and you do the, you know what I mean? You do your math and you'll see. And all they've been saying is historical. These numbers are historical. They don't want to say biblical. They want to say historical. And it's all good. But y'all know the deal. For those who have, I gotta look for it real quick, y'all. They about to sentence him. Hold on, y'all. Is it HLN live stream, babe?
Where's the phone bush? It should be up there.
Start with the 7-year-old daughter of George Floyd.
I got it, y'all.
Well, when you ask about him, what are you asking about?
Well, I was asking, how did my dad get hurt?
Do you wish that he was still here with us?
Yeah, but he is.
Through his spirit?
Yes.
Yes. And when you see your daddy again one day, what do you want to do when you see him?
I want to play with him.
What kind of games do you want to play with him?
I want to play with him, have fun, go on a plane ride, and that's it.
Yeah.
We used to have dinner meals every single night before we went to bed. My daddy always used to help me brush my teeth.
Oh. Do you miss him helping brush your teeth?
Yes.
How do you hope that the world remembers him?
Well, they help him because those mean people did something to him.
Yeah. If you could say anything to your daddy right now, what would it be?
It would be, I miss you and I love you.
All right. Thank you, Gianna. I really appreciate you answering questions today.
From the nephew of George Floyd, Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams, BRANDON
DonWilliams.
May I proceed?
On Monday, May 25th, 2020, George Perry Floyd Jr. was murdered by Derek Chauvin in a malicious and insidious display of hate and abuse of power. Chauvin killed George. Not only did he kill George, but he also displayed a total lack of consideration for human life as he did so. You saw it, I saw it, and millions of people across the country and the globe witnessed the act of hate. A year and 1 month later, I stand here before you tasked with the duty of expressing how George's death has impacted me personally and the rest of our family. As I racked my brain and thought about what I could say today, I came to this conclusion. It is humanly impossible for me to stand here and convey or articulate the right words that would capture all that we are feeling and what we have felt over this period. So please bear with me as I attempt the impossible. The sudden murder of George has forever traumatized us. You may see us cry, but the full extent of our pain and trauma will never be seen with the naked eye. The heartbreak and hurt goes far beyond any number of tears we could ever cry. Words simply cannot express the pain, anguish, and suffering that our family and friends have endured since George's murder. It has been truly unimaginable, but not as nearly unimaginable as the defendant's decision to take the life of a human being with no regard for the effect it may have on others. Although Chauvin will be sentenced today and spend time in prison, he will have the luxury of seeing his family again, talking to them, and he will likely get to spend time with them upon his release. These are all luxuries that my young cousin Gianna was robbed of when Chauvin made the active decision to kill our father. There will be no more birthday parties, no graduations, holiday gatherings, or other family celebrations. The laughter, hugs, guidance, advice, sense of security, and those opportunities to simply say I love you are forever gone. They say time heals all, and while I generally believe that saying, it's challenging to do so given these unfathomable set of circumstances. Before I conclude, I must highlight a few things. George's murder, this trial, and everything in between has been tragic and devastating. Our family is forever broken, and one thing we cannot get back is George Floyd. It is the request of my family that the maximum penalty for the crime for which the defendant was convicted be imposed. On behalf of my family, friends, community, and supporters, I wish to express my sincerest gratitude for allowing us opportunities of expression. Thank you.
Your Honor, just for the record, this wonderful lady standing here is a Hennepin County victim advocate.
Ms. Boswell is well known to the court.
Yes, thank you, Judge.
And so, Your Honor, we'll next hear from the brother of George Floyd, Mr. Terrence Floyd.
And Mr. Floyd, if you could state your full name, spelling each of your names.
Yes. Terrence Floyd. That's Terrence, Floyd, Floyd.
Go ahead.
I'm here represent my brother. I'm from New York. On May 25th, 2020, my brother was murdered, everyone knows, by Derek Chauvin. The facts of this case were proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and 3 guilty verdicts have been rendered. This situation has really affected me and my family. Any family member that has went through this, we are part of a fraternity of families, and it's not one of those, fraternities that you enjoy.
I just, over this last year and months, I actually talked to a few people, and I wanted to know from the man himself why. What were you thinking? What was going through your head when you had your knee on my brother's neck? Why, when you knew that he posed no threat anymore, yeah, he was handcuffed. Why you didn't at least get up? Why you stayed there? A month before my brother was murdered, I was on the phone with him, and we had a long conversation. And as I looked at the video of my niece, the last conversation me and my brother had was he wanted to have play dates. He wanted to plan play dates with Gianna and my daughter. And we started setting it up. That can't happen. And I have to, my daughter's still young, but I still have to explain to her because this is history. This is a case everybody knows about. So she's gonna find out, and I'm gonna have to explain that to her. And I think that's, to me, harder than even just standing here. That I have to talk to my daughter and tell her, about her niece, about her uncle, about the situation. That's basically reliving it all over again, years down the line. I'm here on behalf of my family, on behalf of me and my family, we seek a maximum penalty. We don't want to see no more slaps on the wrist. We've been through that already. In my community, in my culture, we've been through that already. Smack on the wrist. No. Because if it was us, if the roles was reversed, there wouldn't be no case. It would have been open and shut. We'd have been under the jail for murdering somebody. So we asked for that same penalty for Derek Chauvin. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the final victim impact statement from the state will come from George Floyd's brother, Philonise Floyd.
Come on and sentence this guy, man. Yeah, come on and sentence this guy, man.
Sir, if you could begin by giving us your full name and spell each of your names, and I have permitted you to use your phone because you have notes on it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you may proceed when
Oh, this is brother.
Giving us your full name first.
Philonise Floyd, spelled Philonise. Last name Floyd, Floyd.
And you may proceed.
Wow.
1 year ago, May 25th, my brother George was murdered by Derek Chauvin and his co-defendants in broad daylight with a knee to his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. I was a trucker, and immediately my life changed forever. I began to speak to the world for George from the United Nations, Africa, Canada, Japan, and so many other countries. Every day, I have begged for justice to be served, reliving the execution of George, while others begged and pleaded for Officer Chauvin to simply just allow George to take a breath. I haven't had a real nice sleep because of the nightmares I constantly have hearing my brother beg and plead for his life over and over again. Even saying, "They're going to kill me. Please, officer," screaming for our mom. I have had to sit through each day of Officer Derek Chauvin's trial and watch the video of George dying for
every
hours
day,
over and over again. For an entire year, I had to relive George being tortured to death every hour of the day, only taking naps and not knowing what a good night's sleep is anymore. I've been lifting my voice tirelessly every day so that George's death will not be in vain. Honorable Judge Peter K. Hill, I thank you for allowing me to share this today. George's life mattered. So my family and I, most of all, my niece, Gianna, she needs closure. I'm asking that you please find it suitable to give Officer Chauvin the maximum sentence possible, charge that he has been found guilty for. My family and I have been given a life sentence. We would never be able to get George back. Daddy's our daughter's first love. He would never be able to walk Gianna down the aisle at her wedding, attend those magical moments of her life like a daddy-daughter dance, sweet 16 party, seeing her out for prom graduations, and she would never be able to have any personal memories with her father. With a smirk on his face and children present, Officer Chauvin used excessive force and acted against his training. Chauvin had no regard for human life, George's life.
None.
I stand before you today asking you to please help us find closure by giving Chauvin the maximum sentence possible, making sure he does his time consecutively without the possibilities of parole, probation, or getting out early for good behavior. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Crane.
Thank you, Your Honor. Here today, of course, for sentencing gives us an opportunity to speak about other matters that I think are involved in sentencing and where we are in the criminal justice system, and the processing of this case. As a member of an elected office representing the people of the state of Minnesota, as well as people of the local community, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I want to really thank some of the police officers in the Minneapolis Police Department who, under great pressure, great stress, to some extent at peril to their occupations, what they've devoted their life to, stuck to their oath, their commitment as police officers to speak openly and honestly about policing and the training that is given and received by police officers. Those officers didn't hide behind a blue wall. They came forward. They told this court and those jurors what they knew about training and responsibility. And I think they deserve recognition and credit for that. Would also like to thank members of the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Those agents get called in, great sacrifice of their personal lives. Whenever things happen, they go. They did that here, and under really extraordinary circumstances, completed a very professional and thorough investigation. Conducting interviews is hard enough, but conducting them in the atmosphere of the city following the murder of George Floyd is even more difficult. And they did so, I think, above and beyond the call of duty. And I want to thank them for doing that on behalf of the whole prosecution staff. I want to thank the family, the loved ones, the friends of George Floyd. They have been through so much more than families involved in murder cases. He's right. It's a fraternity you don't want to be part of. But they've been through so much more because of the pandemic and because of security, safety precautions that we've had to take. They have been through a lot. At a time when they try to grieve, like everybody does for loss of someone, they are going through so much more. And I want to thank them, all of them, the family. The court saw a testimony from Philonus Floyd, Courtney Ross. These are people who are trying to deal with their loss, but they have to do it in a very public way and under very trying circumstances through no fault of their own. So I thank them. They have all been models of grace and understanding. And it's really remarkable, quite frankly. I'll, I think, come back to them again in a little bit. Your Honor, we have submitted a sentencing brief. I would incorporate that. I guess I would incorporate my comments today into that memo. But I do think there are things that I want to bring out today in my arguments. For hundreds of years, the court had discretion in sentencing. It was the trial court's decision on what the sentence should be. The recognition that the trial court sat through the trial, watched the evidence, saw how it affected people, informed of the court's discretion. When the legislature passed the guidelines, it was a legitimate attempt to try and even out sentences. They defined certain presumptive sentences, as we all know, for typical crimes. For each crime, a typical crime. But they did not remove discretion for sentencing judges. They recognized that nobody is better suited to decide whether this is the typical case represented by that guideline's presumptive sentence, or if there are reasons why this is worse than that. And the guideline still gives this court discretion when there are aggravating factors to give a more serious sentence than what the guideline's presumption calls for. And as you know, we are asking you to do that today. As this court found, there are 4 aggravating factors that we have identified. They go beyond a list of just what those factors are. We have not just done our homework and found a list. The court made good findings, detailed findings about those factors. And we think they justify a greatly increased sentence. This is not the typical second-degree unintentional murder. The Supreme Court in our state has said that, and very recently, even 1 aggravating factor is sufficient to go twice the top of the range. Here we have 4. The first one that the court found is an abusive position of trust and authority. And the court specifically found that when Mr. Chauvin was acting as a police officer, he had a position of trust and authority.
Yes, Mama.
That is certainly true. We trust police officers. We trust them when we need help. We call them for help.
That's a candle.
We trust that they're going to take care of the problems that they are assigned to deal with. We trust them.
A rose?
We also give them great authority. We give them great power. We give them power to use force that individuals would be prosecuted for using. Right? We give them authority to arrest, to detain. And with great power, of course, comes great responsibility. So they're not sent out there by themselves to do this. They're given substantial training. This court saw all of that through the trial in general and in specific to Mr. Chauvin and the other 3 officers. They're given training on the use of force, the proportional use of force. The force used has to be warranted by the threat. They're given training on de-escalation because we recognize that police officers are called in when people are not having the best day, when people might be affected by mental illness, drug abuse, any number of issues. They're just having a bad day, and they're trained for that. You should be. And they're taught how to use that to de-escalate and control a situation. They're taught medical intervention. They're taught to provide medical attention to people who need it. Being a police officer is a difficult job. We ask a lot of them. It's a profession, there's no doubt about it. But we give them a substantial amount of training. Most officers do it right. This case wasn't about police officers, all police officers. It wasn't about policing. This case was about Derek Chauvin disregarding all that training he received and assaulting Mr. Floyd until he suffocated to death. One of the things that you heard, Your Honor, and the jurors heard, that can really encapsulate, I think, a very important issue here. 7 words: in your custody, it's in your care. And it's a real simple mantra, a real easy thing to remember. If you're going to take custody of somebody, you have to provide care. You have to do it in a caring way. You can't simply disregard their care. Mr. Chauvin abused his position of trust and authority as a police officer by doing just that, just disregarding all his training. There's an abuse of that because what did he decide to do?
Oh, you're talking too much, man.
We often are forced in this criminal justice system to infer people's state of mind by their conduct and their statements. What was Derek Chauvin's endgame here? What was the plan? It seems apparent the plan was hold him down until we can dump him in an ambulance and no longer have him be our problem. Recall he said to Charles McMillan, he's a good guy, might be on something. That's it. He held Mr. Floyd down as Mr. Floyd begged for his life. He had the other officers help in that regard. And rather than doing the simple expedients, putting him on the side, he said, yeah, He was dismissive to that duty of care. We trust that arrestees will be treated with respect, reasonable force, and that their medical needs will be addressed. I'm paraphrasing from the court's findings. That trust was violated. We trust that they will use their authority reasonably. And this was a particularly egregious abuse of that force. Again, paraphrasing the court's findings.
He's lining them up, man.
Murder does not involve that extent.
He's lining them up, y'all. He's lining them up.
Dearly held position of abuse, or a position of authority and trust by the community, by individuals of the community. Your Honor found that Mr. Floyd was treated by Mr. Chauvin with particular cruelty. I think tortured is the right word. We know that, we've all seen it. Mr. Floyd did not want to be in the back seat.
Thank you, Lucky.
That's it. And that's the rub. It was the need to get him in that back seat no matter what.
Alhamdulillah. Wow.
And we all saw that once he was pulled out of that back seat, he calmed right down. He even willingly went down to the ground. I'm going down, he said. And he went down to the ground, not fighting, not punching. And he was placed initially on his side. He's already handcuffed. He's placed on his side in the recovery position, like he should be, because he's trying to breathe. And then quickly placed prone on the ground, face down. Mr. Chauvin put his left knee on George Floyd's neck, his right knee on George Floyd's back, face down on the pavement. Had Officer King sit on Mr. Floyd's waist area, and had Officer Lane hold his feet down. You can even see Mr. Floyd trying to pull his feet up. We all are going to fight to breathe. Everybody knows that fear when you all of a sudden realize you're having trouble breathing. It's just innate, right? We want to survive. We know we have to breathe. And there's an automatic reaction when you begin to feel like that is right. And you can see Mr. Floyd going through that. He tries to pull his feet up. But he's held down by these three officers while Officer Tao is looking on. Later, of course, goes to keep the people who want to help away. He's placed face down on this pavement so harshly that it rubs the skin off his face. He has injuries to his face from being face down on that pavement. He has injuries to his knuckles from just trying to lift himself up. And he's telling Officer Chauvin, can't breathe. I'm dying. And Mr. Chauvin's response was, And all this time, imagine what Mr. Floyd is going through. Talk about particular cruelty and torture. Really try to appreciate what he's going through.
That was torture, bro.
Suffocating. We all know that feeling of not being able to breathe enough.
Oh my God, scary.
He's begging, he's pleading, and he's being ignored. His concerns are being dismissed by somebody who has taken custody but not cared.
Your life in somebody else's hands.
Position for 9.5 minutes.
Bro. You screaming, crying, begging,
and was suffocated. There's no other way to say it. That's particularly cruel. That is more cruel than a typical second-degree unintentional murder. Significantly more. This is not a momentary gunshot, punch to the face. This is 9.5 minutes.
There you go.
Cruelty to a man who was helpless.
Line him up.
And just begging for his life.
Line him up.
This court found that there were children present, standing only a few feet from these officers. These children, who were ages 17, and one child age 9. Why is that an aggravating factor? Well, I think everybody can figure that out. Right? It's particularly bad to commit a crime in front of children.
Right.
We've heard a lot of academia about the development of the young brain and how long it can take. And here you got a couple of teenage girls, a 9-year-old girl. How are they going to process this? Standing feet from a man being suffocated by police officers. Such a stark sight that one of the children even says, we got to call the police on the police. How do you process that as a 9-year-old? The children are not only present watching a man die. We've all seen, if you haven't, you really need to. Look at George Floyd's face. As he's dying, he's suffering. The children have to watch this. But not only that, police officers, and there are people around them wanting to help. And at one point, and sure, they got upset. At one point, Mr. Chauvin points his mace, grabs his mace to keep him back. How does a child look at that? There's another officer screaming at them to get back. The typical second-degree unintentional murder doesn't involve children standing feet away, watching 9.5 minute suffocation of a man begging for his life.
Y'all can imagine 2 minutes, right? Imagine
This
just
court
2
also made a
minutes.
finding that
Not
the
being able to breathe. 2
defendant
minutes,
committed the offense with the involvement of 3 or more other persons.
let alone
Lane
9.
and King were involved directly in the restraint, and that Tao kept the bystanders at bay. I've already talked a little bit about Lane and King's role in holding Mr. Floyd down. They recognized that he was pulseless, and Mr. Floyd was pulseless at one point, and yet really made no effort to take care of the person in their custody. Officer Tao watched most of the suffocation and then only went over to keep people from getting help. One person who is identified as a medical trained firefighter for the city of Minneapolis, and that was dismissed. Like, are we going to believe her? So they kept trained medical people from providing help. These were all uniformed peace officers, adding to that abuse of trust and authority. You know, I know the defense has asked the court for probation. I'm not going to spend a lot of time arguing that. It's so outside of the realm of, I think, real possibility. This is a murder. I understand some of the arguments made on behalf of Mr. Chauvin. I understand. Well, no, I can't understand what his family members and friends are going through. I can't. But it's certainly not enough for a departure to probation for a second-degree murder.
No.
Yeah. We believe, Your Honor, that these four aggravating factors, the findings that the court has made, certainly justify an upward departure. Because there are four of them, not standing alone, but in a sense, not overlapping, but coming together to show this is not the typical second-degree murder. This is egregious. This justifies a double upward departure. From the top of the box, which is 180 months, we're asking the court to do a double departure, recognizing all four factors, to 360 months. As I mentioned before, Your Honor, this is sentencing. This is the time for victims. Right? This is the time for the loved ones of the victim and the community to have a say. Again, I commend this family. I commend all of the loved ones, the friends, the people that have been involved in this case for
he's crying,
tolerating, and being gracious. None of this, of course, can bring George Floyd back. That's very true. This is the time for our criminal justice system to say, we hear you. This is the time for their criminal justice system to say, we recognize that this harm you're going through is real. And while we can't feel what you're feeling, we know we can do what your criminal justice system should do, to recognize the severity of this crime.
36 months is 3 years.
And reflect that in the sentence to be given.
36.
It's time for this criminal justice system to say, we recognize this is more serious than a typical second-degree unintentional murder.
Now then he's going to bring,
for reasons the court found,
12 years.
That we give this court more than
30
adequate
years.
basis to do that.
360 months.
Your Honor, we asked the court to impose a sentence of 360 months to the Commissioner of Corrections. As you know, Your Honor, there are no fines in murder cases. We would ask the court just to reserve the issue of restitution.
People be
clarify that with the family, present that to the court for 30 days. Thank you.
Anything further from the state?
All right.
Mr. Nelson.
Chauvin's mother.
Chauvin's mother is about to come. I know, I'm telling the people. Chauvin's mother.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, the defendant's mother, Carolyn Valenti, would like to address the court.
If you could state your full name, spelling each of your names, and proceed when you're ready.
Carolyn, Carolyn, Palenti, Pawlenty.
That's his mother.
Lenty. I am the mother of Derek Chauvin.
Wow,
I am
that's
here to
gotta be
speak on behalf of my entire family. On November 25th, 2020, not only did Derek's life change forever, but so did mine and my family's. Derek devoted 19 years of his life to the Minneapolis Police Department. It has been difficult for me to hear and read what the media, public, and prosecution team believe Derek to be an aggressive, heartless, and uncaring person.
Yeah, I know,
I can tell you that it's far from the truth. My son's identity has also been reduced to that as a racist. I want this court to know that none of these things are true and that my son is a good man. Derek always dedicated his life and time to the police department. Even on his days off, he would call in to see if they needed help. Derek is a quiet, thoughtful, honorable, and selfless man. He has a big heart, and he always has put others before his own.
Really? Is that right?
The public will never know the loving and caring man he is, but his family does. Even though I have not spoken publicly, I have always supported him 100% and always will. Derek has played over and over in his head the events of that day. I've seen the toll it has taken on him. I believe a lengthy sentence will not serve Derek well. When you sentence my son, you will also be sentencing me. I will not be able to see Derek, talk to him on the phone, or give him our special hug. Plus the fact that when he is released, his father and I most likely will not be here.
That's kind of sad, man. You don't want no mother to go through that. I don't care who. No mother. Trust me, I have full remorse for George Floyd. I definitely do.
My happiest moment is when I gave birth to you.
This is a mother we're
And my
talking about.
second is when I was honored to
Remember what I said about compassion
on you.
and about having mercy.
I remember you whispering to me,
have mercy on those on earth so that
"Don't
Allah,
stick me with
so that
it."
God can have mercy on you on the day of judgment.
Derek, I want you to know I have always believed in your innocence, and I will never waver from that. I have read numerous letters from people around the world that also believe in your innocence.
Come on, we're not gonna go that far. But I understand. My mom always thought I was innocent too. I could have shot somebody right in front of her. Mom, I ain't do it. And my mom would have believed
be
it.
there to visit you.
She would have
I
believed it.
promise you I will stay strong, as we talked about, and I want you to do the same for me. I will do what you told me to do, take care of myself, so I will be here for you when you come home.
Nothing like a mother's love, boy.
Remember, there is no stronger bond or love than a mother's love. One final thought I want you to remember. Remember, you are my favorite son. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Nelson.
You gotta feel some kind of compassion for it, just on the strength that she's a mother, man. That's just my opinion, though. You're welcome to yours.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
That's all love.
It is my intent that my remarks this afternoon be quite brief. I do not intend to relitigate the facts of this case, nor spend any substantial time looking at the law. The court is very familiar with the facts of this case, and the parties have fully briefed the court relevant to the sentencing factors. And we recognize that in any case, any sentencing that comes before the court is tasked with a difficult job. The court must craft a sentence that serves the interests of justice, a rather nebulous term. The court must take into consideration victim impact, public interest, as well as the circumstances and the history of the defendant. And in this case, more than any other that likely any of us have ever been involved in,
political divide
is exceedingly more difficult.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
In my remarks today, I just wish to briefly address each of those three considerations, starting with the public impact. As I believe we are all cognizant of, this case is at the epicenter of a cultural and political divide.
Yes. Yes.
We tried to keep a lot of that out of the courtroom during the trial and make this case about the facts. But we recognize what has happened as a result of this case.
Yeah. You think?
There are a great number of people who will view any sentence you pronounce as overly lenient and insufficient to satisfy justice. But there are an equal number of people who will view any sentence you pronounce as draconian or overbearing. Either way, some percentage of the public will view your sentence as a miscarriage of justice. The intensity of the public interest in this case cannot be understated. I trust that the volume of correspondence that each of us has received from the public at large is indicative of these very sentiments on both sides. As I was informed just yesterday, the Attorney General's office established a website, web submission, to accept community impact statements. Again, in my understanding is in a little over 2 weeks, they received over 1,000 submissions. Again, on both sides. By my very best estimate, since my representation of Mr. Chauvin began last summer, I would estimate that I have received over 5,000 emails, over 1,000 voicemails, and hundreds of handwritten letters. Again, from both sides. And I expect that Your Honor has likewise been inundated with public comment and scrutiny. The impact that this case has had on this community is profound.
Yo, Danny.
It goes far beyond
I hear you, bro.
What happened on May 25th.
And I truly understand, though. I understand, homie.
It has been at the forefront of our national consciousness, and it has weaved its way into nearly every facet of our lives.
We don't know
entertainment that we consume to the presidential politics.
How much our actions affect so many other people. Man.
From protests to conspiracy theories. In the end, it is my sincere hope that when this community impact brings forth principled debate and civil public discourse, and ultimately leaves a positive effect on the city of Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota, and the United States.
That's his lawyer, dog.
But nevertheless, while this court may consider the community impact, it is for these very same reasons that the court must turn to the foundational legal principles and remember that justice is blind. Law is built on reason and common sense, and it cannot be permitted to be assailed by public opinion. turn to the second consideration, which is the victim impact, the death of George Floyd. The death of George Floyd was tragic. He is loved by his family members. He is loved by his friends. And his death is justifiably mourned by those whose lives he impacted. He is a son, a brother, a father, an uncle, and a friend of many. And as the court heard today, the impact and the loss of his life, simply just can't be simplified. And it will take time. Finally, Your Honor, the court must take into consideration, just like it has to take into consideration the aggravating factors, it needs to take into consideration the mitigating factors. And the mitigating factors as set forth by the sentencing guidelines really point to the TROG analysis, essentially, ultimately in this case. We're not going to spend a lot of time, again, arguing for a probationary sentence. That's brief. But that being said, when we look at the TROG factors, who is Derek Chauvin? Derek Chauvin spent 19 years as a Minneapolis police officer. He loved being a police officer.
Derek Chauvin was under investigation for more
I
than
was
once.
contacted during the course of my representation, and I've had numerous conversations with his fellow police officers or fellow police officers that worked with Derek. Some retired, some still active.
He actually has an open case. He's supposed
And
to be
they
going
told
to
me
trial.
that he was a solid police officer, that he did his job, that if somebody asked him to do a particular task, he never complained, he did it.
What's the matter? Come on.
One person told me that one of his sergeants told me that if I had asked him to dig a ditch for 8 hours, he would have picked up a shovel and he would have never complained. He would have done his job. He was decorated as a police officer. Multiple life-saving awards. He was decorated for valor. He was proud to be a police officer because what he liked to do was help people. And as the statistics show, the vast majority of police work is helping people. He was proud to be a Minneapolis police officer.
But he wasn't
served
even
his country
doing good all
in the
his
United
life.
States, in the United States Army.
He had,
And he too
he got an
is a
open
son,
case.
a brother, and a father, and a friend. He too, his life, the life he's lived,
He didn't
he's
think
not
about
coming
that,
into
bro.
this as a career criminal with 6 points,
He didn't think
5
about
points,
that.
4 points. He's coming into this never having violated the law because he lived an honorable life.
He just never
attempted to
got
live
caught.
an honorable life.
That's what it is.
Derek Chauvin was not even scheduled to work on May 25th, 2020. He volunteered because there was short staffing at the time. I know from numerous conversations that I've had with Derek that his brain is littered with what ifs. What if I just had not agreed to go in that day?
What if you just got off
What if
his neck?
things had gone differently?
What if you
What
just
if I never
got
responded
off
to
his
that call?
neck, bruh?
What if? The truth of the matter is, and the end result is that we are here after jury verdict, finding him guilty of these offenses. And the court's consideration should not only be focused on the aggravating factors, but the mitigating factors as well.
I'm talking about what if? Like, what if? What?
The Minnesota Sentencing Guidelines Commission was established for a reason. And yes, the court in circumstances like these has discretion to go beyond an aggravated sentence, beyond the presumptive sentences established by the sentencing guidelines.
This guy's a
The
smart
sentencing guidelines don't differentiate between second-degree murders. Someone robs a liquor store, a police officer is involved in an incident, and a person dies in police custody.
He looking at him like, man, I don't care what you say. He
The
getting
law
straight
presumes, the legislature presumes that the sentencing guidelines as established is a sufficient penalty for all of the second-degree murder categories or cases you would see.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi
From
wa barakatuh.
2019 back to 2010, a total of 90 people were sentenced for second-degree murder. Those sentences, those people, there were more than that, but people who had a 0 criminal history score, more than 90 people were sentenced. 67%, or 60 of those 90 people, received a guideline sentence of 150 months. So 2/3 of all people in this same position received a guideline sentence.
Man, get out of here, bro.
20% received an aggravated sentence, 18 of the 90, and 13% or 12 individuals were granted mitigated departures. So if the legislature and the intent of the sentencing guidelines is to eliminate sentencing disparity, the law should presume that the guideline sentence is what is appropriate in this case. Judge may take into consideration at this point those aggravating factors, but you have to counterbalance them, which is the goal of the law, with the mitigating factors. I know that this has been an incredibly difficult case for the Floyd family to have to endure. The state of Minnesota, likewise, prosecutors in this case have endured quite a bit, as has Mr. Chauvin's family. This is a case that has changed the world to some degree, and I hope it's positive. But it's my hope that the court follows sentencing guidelines, applies the law in a reasoned manner, and imposes a just sentence.
Let's go.
Chauvin, would you join Mr. Nelson at the lectern?
Let's go.
Mr. Chauvin, this is your opportunity if you wish to give any input to the court. And so I turn it over to you and your attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, due to some additional legal matters at hand, I'm not able to give a full formal statement at this time. But very briefly, though, I do want to give my condolences to the Floyd family. There's going to be some other information in the future that would be of interest, and I hope things will give you some peace of mind. Thank you.
And I'll note that I did read your comments in the pre-sentence investigation as well.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take a 15-minute recess so that I can complete the sentencing order based on what I've heard today. And let's reconvene at 2:45. We're in recess.
Man, stop playing, man.
And we are in the middle of the sentencing trial, or the sentencing phase, I should say, of ex-officer Derek Chauvin. And we heard from him. It was a surprise. Most of us did not think we would. Was it a statement? He said not really. He was going to just say condolences to the Floyd family. He also added that something would come out that would make things, I guess, easier for the family of George Floyd. What did he mean by that? Was that taking the responsibility off of Chauvin himself? Another surprise, of course, was his mother saying, I am speaking on behalf of the family. Our family has been hurt too. No mention of George Floyd or his family. But then the defense attorney stood up and said there are aggravating factors, mitigating factors. Want to bring in Joey Jackson. We were watching together. When we saw Chauvin walk up without a mask on and seeing his full face, were you surprised at what he said, and what did he say?
So here's the issue. Listen, this was his opportunity, of course, Susan, to give the indication of how he felt. I think the fact that he at least offered condolences is a big step, right? It will never be enough. His actions spoke louder than anything he could ever tell that court, the actions he engaged in that day. And so no matter what he said, it becomes problematic because you hearken back to what one.
Well, we gotta come back, brothers and sisters. 3:45. Y'all heard the man. Y'all heard the man. Recess. That was crazy, man.
How many years you think you'll get?
Yeah, man. Yo, drop how many years y'all think he gonna get on the chat. Drop if y'all think he's gonna get probation, life, or whatever time frame y'all think this guy's gonna get, man. And this dude, man. Yo, man, I'm trying to be serious. I'm trying to be serious. Oh, yo, Dusty. She said a sentence to Derek is like a sentence to me. And she ain't mentioned nothing about George Floyd's family. Not one time did she mention. All she mentioned about was her family and her son, but she never, not one time, said anything about George Floyd's family. Nah, I believe he gonna get more than that. You heard, bro? I believe he gonna get more than 12 years, man. Yeah, we all do. That's why I said, like, you know, besides the jokes and everything, come on, she's a mother. A mother always, yo. Come on, bro. Y'all, how many felons we got on the chat right now? That can, come on, man. Like I said, I could have popped somebody right in front of, like I could have been right here and popped somebody. And my mom's would have been like, I could have told my mom I ain't do it. And my mom would have said I ain't do it. My mom would have been like, my son said he ain't do it. Yeah. And you know, it goes, you know, that's it's, you know, our seeds, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna grow up and they're gonna make choices, like, you know what I mean, that we're not gonna, but what's right is right, you know what I'm saying, and what's wrong is wrong. Like, you can't, just because that's your son, like, you over here, like, that says a lot about you, miss. I'm sure if you seen that 9-minute video.
She did for her son. She wasn't part of this trial.
Nah, she just popped up to speak for his sentencing. Time served. Mom Blue, come on, homie.
Yeah, 2 months.
Aki Dre. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Wipe your feet on the mat. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you ain't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Share. Tell a friend and tell a friend. We got all, and yo, T, man, I want to tell you, man, we got that sports thing you was talking about. I'm with it, man. That's my twist, bro. I was telling the people yesterday how you made that video real quick about Trae Young, man, and that's, yo, it's crazy because I was gonna make a video, and then I look over and you made a video about Trae Young. while I was watching the game, I was thinking about making a video. But the sports thing, yeah, we got to do that, man. It's a lot of us that like. I mean, I don't play the games, but I watch them. I don't play like the Maddens and none of that. Slap on the wrist, 10-piece. I'm thinking like a 10-piece, man. Between 10 to 20, just like bro said, man. You say 12? 10-piece, roll 20 overs, yeah. Yeah.
I want to be well.
No, you can't. I told you. Wait. After, then we could play on here, okay? All right? Now I'll let you play on it. Yo, I remember police coming knocking on my door. I'm a shorty underneath the bed, underneath my mother's bed.
I can wear my headphones.
Police knocking on the door. Yes,
I
sir.
wear my headphones.
Oh, so thank you. You're so sweet. Thanks, baby.
She wears my earphones.
Yeah, I love them. I love your earphones.
Wears my earphones.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my iPod.
That was the sad part. I'm not gonna hold you.
Would you like it? Then would you like
My
it?
daughter. Yeah, I love it, baby. The daughter speaking. The George Floyd's daughter.
Daddy, you know what?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna do it. That's a fact. That's a fact. You know what? We can even do it. We can even do tickets, man. We can even do a pool and all that. Football season. You know what I mean? Let me stop, man. I ain't even supposed to be gambling. Trey Young, cut it out. Trey Young, Ice Tray. The boy did the shimmy at the 3-point line. He shimmied, man. Then he. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, B.
Daddy got your headphones.
Daddy, come on.
Said Daddy used to help me brush my teeth, man. Alhamdulillah. Wow. Yo, Florida don't play, man. I've never heard not one nice story about Florida's jails, yo. Everybody has the same story, don't they? Boy, that chain gang, and then they got them, in Florida, they got the black and white, like the stripe, like back in the day, like 1920s and 1930s.
The Beetlejuice?
Yeah, the Beetlejuice, stop Harlem shaking. Yeah, Venezuela. We gonna get this thing popping. Hey, baby. Over here talking to the fellas.
I thought it's my shirt.
Heard you. That young boy, man. That young boy is a problem, man. He's so much of a problem. He had Giannis. He had Giannis in the huddle, screaming at his teammates, talking about, y'all letting him do the shimmy. Nah, that young boy nasty. That young boy is nasty. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't think he was gonna rock in the NBA. I didn't think because of his frame, he built like a little Steph Curry. I didn't think he was going to be able to keep up with the NBA, but no Commonwealth. Yo, how many? 4 more minutes, y'all. Orioles, the Cleveland. Oh man, yeah, man. See that dude, man? Yo, he's 6'7". He's 6'7", bro. 275 pounds. What? This? 275 pounds. Chris Paul was trash yesterday, you heard? He another one, he always getting hurt. Really? I didn't know that, bro. Where's Bond? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That boy nasty. That boy nasty. He nasty. And he got heart. When they say, hey. Walaikum salam, brother. Thank you, I appreciate that. I try, man. Yeah, Booker Nights. I like Booker. All them dudes got hurt, bro. All them dudes got hurt. All them dudes got hurt, bro. All them dudes got hurt. It made it. I mean, it is what it is. You gotta make the best of it. But Kyrie got hurt. Come on, Brooklyn. Oh my goodness. They wasn't supposed to let the Bucks beat them. They wasn't supposed to let them beat them, man. Soft like bad sheets. See another one always getting hurt. Always, man. Yeah, they got it. I don't know, man. Kyrie always getting hurt, and he from Jersey, man. Yeah, they play hard, man. They play hard. That's why I don't know. I don't know about the Clippers getting past them, man. I don't know. They need more help. I feel like they need more help. Don't let Chris Paul get hot. He's soft, but don't let him get hot. You know what I mean? He good for a game or two. All right, y'all. Let's go back to this. Let me look for it real quick. That's it. Yeah. Let's see if they're ready. He's soft, man. Word. That's a fact, man. He's soft, man. And you know what got me tight? They was trying to say, yo, he the greatest. They was trying to give LeBron's title to KD. They was already saying he the greatest player in the world and all this and all that. Need more Wheaties, man. KD need more Wheaties. He got a nice game. He just need more Wheaties. Come on, man. Let's get this thing going.
With a deterrent effect, right? We don't want to see another slap on the wrist. It was, I thought, very impactful statement.
And Philonis Floyd also getting up and speaking and saying, look, we've been given a life sentence as a family, saying I haven't been able to sleep a full night because of this. I keep seeing, Darren, as all of us have seen that video, imagine being that close to someone, your brother, seeing them die over and over and over again on that video.
Absolutely. These statements are very compelling in court. And, you know, it's just so unfortunate that George Floyd lost his life. But just when you spoke earlier to how Derek Chauvin, what he spoke to in connection with addressing the court, I thought that he could have been a lot more emotional. Granted, there's a proceeding that's coming later on down the line in connection with an appeal. But the one thing that I was expecting, if he did in fact speak, was to mention the fact that, look, it really tears him apart that he was a part of a situation where someone lost their life. That in no way, shape, or form infringes upon his appeal moving forward, but is speaking to his level of emotion and how this wants him moving forward from that day. And it just didn't happen. I felt that he was cold, stone-faced, and showed no emotion whatsoever, which was consistent with his demeanor throughout the course of the trial. Even when you see the capturing of his face in the video as he's on top of George Floyd's neck, it's that exact same look.
The coldness, the callousness. Excellent point, Darren. To your point, Joey, I think we're all trying to fill in the blanks. Well, why didn't he say this? And why didn't he say that? Maybe he just doesn't feel that. Doesn't feel the remorse that we're all hoping that he feels or waiting for him to say why.
Yeah, you know, Susan, of interest to me, I think of interest to all of us is something that he alluded to, which I'm not sure, and I don't really want to speculate. There'll be something coming out later. What does that mean?
If I don't know
pen
what
a
it is,
letter
I
to the
can research
family?
it.
Are you expressing to the family outside of the public view how do you really feel, what you really believe, why you did what you did, giving them some closure, if you can call it that, right? And so I don't know. That was a mystery to me. But I do think he took the opportunity to go as far as he could with regard to saying, look, hey, I'm sorry, and I'm expressing of my condolences. You know, these are very impactful days. I also want to just briefly speak to the issue of the prosecutor and what he did, right, in terms of laying it out. And I think we should be mindful of the fact that he reminded us, hey, with one aggravated factor, it doubles your sentence. Here we have 4. And so with regard to the 4, I think that was very important because that really made us understand the precedent, right? It tethered the request of 30 years to what was legally proper and appropriate. And if one aggravating factor can get you from 12.5 years to 25 years, then hey, they were saying as prosecutors, we're being pretty reasonable. And he also, final point, Susan, really spoke to thanking the police. Remember at the outset, they said, this is not an anti-police prosecution. This is a pro-police prosecution. And I think that theme in thanking the police for their hard work and in breaking that blue wall is very compelling.
Even choking up, Joey, as we were all watching together. And this is a scene outside of the Hennepin County Courthouse. Just supporters of George Floyd waiting to hear what sentence he will get. As we just heard in the victim impact statements, also hearing from the prosecutor, Matthew Frank, again saying this quote, in your custody, in your care. It's a simple mantra saying George Floyd was in his custody, hence the handcuffs, but was not in his care.
Hopefully, man, this sends a
was
message, man,
murdered
that y'all
no
not just
longer
gonna kill
here.
us just because we
Ariga, your thoughts on
we might
hearing
be,
from
you know what I
Matthew
mean,
Frank and the way
under
he
the
was
influence,
thanking police
high, or y'all
officers,
think we an
even
addict,
choking
or
up and
y'all
saying,
just
this isn't
think
about
we ain't
us
worthy of
versus
living.
them, so to speak. I'm paraphrasing here.
Y'all
This
just
is
don't
about
respect
this
our life
particular instance.
because y'all think we, you know what I mean, we come from
Yeah, I was kind of disturbed by something Matthew Frank said.
nothing,
He
more or
thanked
less.
the police for coming forward and telling the truth. He thanked them for breaking the so-called blue wall of silence. And we were talking earlier about what is.
Well,
Start
first of
eating
all,
candy. Give me the candy.
I wanted to thank everybody for being here and for providing the input you did. Not just the people who were in the courtroom here, but also those who provided written statements, both from the Floyd family and the defendant's family. I've read all the impact statements that were submitted earlier and listened carefully to all the input here today. And it is truly appreciated that you took the time to stay with this case and to provide me with input. I have reviewed the pre-sentence investigation and carefully considered all the facts of the case and the law, but my comments are actually going to be very brief because most of it's going to be in writing. I have a 22-page memorandum that is going to be attached to the sentencing order. And why am I doing it in writing? To emphasize the fact that determining the appropriate sentence in any case, and in this case, is a legal analysis. It's applying the rule of law to the facts of an individual and specific case. And that is why, as opposed to trying to being profound here on the record, I prefer that you read the legal analysis that explains how I determine the sentence in this case.
They don't do that with everybody.
What the case is, or what the sentence is not based on, is emotion or sympathy. But at the same time, I want to acknowledge the deep and tremendous pain that all the families are feeling, especially the Floyd family. You have our sympathies.
What's going on?
And I acknowledge and hear the pain that you are feeling. I acknowledge the pain not only of those in this courtroom, but the Floyd family who are outside this courtroom and other members of the community. It has been painful throughout Hennepin County, throughout the state of Minnesota, and even the country. But most importantly, we need to recognize the pain of the Floyd family. I'm not going to attempt to be profound or clever because it's not the appropriate time.
Right.
I'm not basing my sentence also on public opinion. I'm not basing it on any attempt to send any messages. A trial court judge, the job of a trial court judge is to apply the law to specific facts and to deal with individual cases. And so, Mr. Chauvin, as to count one, based on the verdict of the jury, finding you guilty of unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony under Minnesota Statute 609.19 subdivision 2, paren 1, it is the judgment of the court that you now stand convicted of that offense. Pursuant to Minnesota Statute section 609.04, counts 2 and 3 will remain unadjudicated as they are lesser offenses of count 1. As sentence for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270. That is a 10-year addition to the presumptive sentence of 150 months. This is based on your abuse of a position of trust and authority, and also the particular cruelty shown to George Floyd.
How much is that?
You're granted credit for 199 days already served. Pay the mandatory surcharge of $78 to be paid from prison wages. You're prohibited from possessing firearms, ammunition,
22
or
years.
explosives for the remainder of your life. Provide a DNA sample as required by law. Register as a predatory offender as required by law. And you will receive a copy of the order and also the attached memorandum explaining the court's analysis. Anything further from the state?
If this needs to be said, we just ask that it be executed forthwith.
Defendant is remanded to the custody of the sheriff to be transported back to the DOC or whichever custody is currently holding him. Anything from the defense? No, yeah. All right. Thank you. We are adjourned.
Oh. 22.5 years. Oh, beautiful. You know, he's sick.
Uh-oh, let's see what the people got to say. People. No, people. 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 Hit that like. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. If you don't get nothing else off my channel, you're gonna learn something. At least 2 or 3 things a week. So hit that subscribe. It might be to your benefit. And they don't gotta necessarily be by me. We got a whole lot of good, smart, intelligent brothers and sisters on this channel right here. 22, man. 22, man. Be more. Yo, New York's finest and ODP. Y'all both from Florida, man. South Orlando. Yeah, see, 270 months plus 150 months. 22 plus 7, that's 30.
That's the beginning of the term, sir.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think so, man. A pill? Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna get an appeal. I don't think so. But then again, I done seen more weird stuff. No, I don't want you up here.
Can be well? Do you like me?
That's how it be in other cities and states, man. It's just ordinary stuff that you. Man, I cannot rock when she right here like this. Stop. I don't want you on my lap.
Come here, mommy. I'm scared. Come on, baby. On the phone.
Trust me, I wouldn't mind, but there's people that's be watching that I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Now, we've been following breaking news out of the Bronx this morning where 5 people have been shot. And police say it happened just hours ago outside of a warehouse party. That's where we find our CBS 2's John Diaz live at the scene in the Unionport section with the latest on that, John.
Good morning to both of you. And police telling us of those 5 people shot, one of them is just a 16-year-old boy. He is the youngest victim, and we are told that he was shot in the chest. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. However, we have since learned that he is expected to pull through. Go ahead now, though, and take a look here at this video. At this hour, police have yet to make any arrests and are still trying to figure out why the suspect or suspects opened fire. But as you can see here, there was heavy police presence out here overnight. The city's finest is still working the case. What we can tell you is that police so far believe this was a drive-by shooting. They say that the victims were attending a warehouse party by Black Rock and Zurega Avenues around 1 o'clock this morning. Authorities explained to us that they were standing outside when a dark-colored sedan drove by and fired shots and then drove off. The ages of the victims range from 16 years old to 21 years old. Each one was transported to Jacoby Medical Center. We are told that the victims are expected to survive. Most victims were shot in their leg, however, except for that one 16-year-old boy who took a bullet to the chest. Now, across the city, citywide shooting incidents are up a little more than 53% compared to this time last year. As for this case, of course, keep it here with Channel 2. We'll continue to keep you updated. But for now, we are live this morning from the Unionport section of the Bronx. John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
If you want to sell
Yes. I hear you. Mass entertainment. Man. Everyone, please stay safe out here. There's going to be riots in the city area. Where much love, everyone. R.I.P. to whom we lost or I lost. All this is heavy on the heart. I understand completely. A lot of people are upset. That's y'all familiar with them areas? Unionport, OD. They say they call it Little Islam Park. Who? Hey, that's how I be feeling, sis. You heard? This is how I was supposed to, you know.
Stop.
Stop, Toby.
It's sad we got to be like that, right?
Shut up, Toby.
I remember when we was younger. I don't know. We had no regard. Like we just was. Now you got to be. You just got to be careful. You got to be safe. You can't be ignorant. I think it was something else too. Let me see something. Oh, they caught that dude too, man. They caught that guy, man. This one?
For real migraine relief.
Verizon launched the first 5G network, and now we want to be the first to give everyone the joy of 5G with the new 5G phone on us. Old customers, new customers, just trade in your old one. Cracked, busted, sticky buttons. We're calling it the biggest upgrade ever because it is.
You're gonna let it 5 o'clock.
I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Sade Veteran-Law. We begin with a shocking crime outside of a hotel in Manhattan. A 25-year-old man shot and killed outside the Dream Hotel in Chelsea.
New York cops now identifying the suspect and offering a reward for his capture. Eyewitness News reporter N.J. Burkett live in Chelsea with the story. Yeah, that's right, Bill. The posters went up this afternoon. You can see behind me, you see the suspect with his distinctive baseball cap. Detectives say it's a very clear picture, and they are optimistic that there are people in the audience tonight who will know who this man is and who will turn him in. But yes, Chelsea has now become the latest neighborhood in the city to contend with gun violence. It happened just steps from the Chelsea Market and New York's meatpacking district, where the face of the suspected gunman is now splashed across wanted posters plastered throughout the neighborhood.
It's kind of crazy. I didn't realize that anything had happened.
The club scene became a crime scene last night. Clubgoers stepped outside to see shell casings in the street, shocked to hear that the latest victim of gun violence was shot to death on their doorstep.
There's just too much violence going on in the city now. It's like a reminder of the old days.
The motive was not clear late this afternoon.
Oh, what happened to the stream? What happened? Oops. I don't know what's going on. Whoa, you see that? I said, word, two raw pigs. Yo, what the f- How did I do that? Nah, man. I only see one stream up here. Oh my God. How's it two? Nah. Echo, I'm saying, I'm trying to stop the echo. Okay, I see it. I see it. Yeah, that was crazy, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was crazy, man. I think this one right here recent. Yeah.
For over 145 years, more families trust ADT for timeless protection and 24/7 peace.
New York police need help finding a man caught on camera riding a dirt bike and shooting at a driver in the Bronx. This was around 2 in the afternoon, June 23rd, along East 223rd Street. The man gets off the dirt bike, walks toward a black Acura SUV, and shoots through the open driver's side window. The 25-year-old driver throws it in reverse, then takes off forward right past the man with the gun. Thankfully, nobody was injured, but if you recognize the man on the dirt bike, call NYPD's Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS. Katie?
Check him out.
shooting at a driver in the Bronx. This was around 2 in the afternoon, June 23rd, along East 223rd Street. The man gets off the dirt bike, walks toward a black Acura SUV, and shoots through the open driver's side window. The 25-year-old driver throws it in reverse, then takes off forward right past the man with the gun. Thankfully, nobody was injured, but if you recognize the man on the dirt bike, call NYPD's Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS.
That was smart. Okay, brother. Start preaching, fam. Who start preaching? Start preaching. Nah, I'm chilling, man. The Bronx is out of control. Every day. And then that Miami thing. Reyes is already on the hotline. Another Choco and Polo rule. Joker and Polo rule. Really funny. Yo. Oh, man. Oh, man. How did they do that? Now I gotta find. Oh, okay. Hang on, now I'm trying to check out. They had pictures of them dudes that vandalized the George Floyd statue. Man, let me see. Oh, here it go, right here. I don't know. Wow. Maybe I could share it right here, like this. Huh? My bro, what's up with you, bro? I don't know, I'm all over the place. Nah, I can't do it like that. Damn. Hold on, Venezuela, Reyes. I'm looking for something. Right now, Venezuela, Reyes. Damn, I done lost these creeps, man. Oh, man. Let me see. There you go, right here, man. Go these dudes, man.
Governor Cuomo is directing the
people. Y'all ready? Venezuela's reyes. Venezuela's reyes.
state's hate crimes task force to investigate the defacing of the new George Floyd statue in Brooklyn. This as the NYPD releases new video of a group of suspects believed to be behind the vandalism. It happened early yesterday morning in Flatbush. The statue's face was sprayed with black paint, and the slogan Patriot Front.us was written along the inscription. Patriot Front are known white supremacists that the NYPD recognizes as an organized extremist group.
Man, homie, you ain't give me a chance to play it back.
Police say this man sexually assaulted a woman at a Brooklyn store. The video is from a store on Sutter Avenue at 1:52 in the afternoon Wednesday. And as the woman bent over to pick up an item, the video shows the man behind her. She confronted him and he took off. If you recognize him, call NYPD's Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-KISS. Katie Johnston for CBSN, New York.
Off the hook, B. Hey, yo, you seen that? L, did you see that? Was that me? Yo, these dudes is mad close to each other. New York and OD. What's up, Ben? What's up, Venezuela? Yo. What's up? Y'all can't hear me? Nah, man. Yo, what's up, man? Yo, these dudes, that's dope, man. I like that. That's what's up, though. The rain, the light, is every day right now. It's the summertime.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro. What's up?
¿Qué lo que, man?
¿Qué lo que, maní? Dímelo.
They just painted his face black, George Floyd. What they did wrong there? Why the statue was looking white like that, though? You didn't peep that? The statue was looking mad white. They just
the statue was looking like a statue.
They messed it up.
They messed it up.
But they made it more black, though. What they did, they ain't do nothing wrong, really. Yo, they gave your man 30 years, bro. That judge set a precedent. He gave a police officer 30 years. Ooh. He was grandstanding for like 20 minutes there. Dead ass.
Yeah, he was.
He knows.
He was.
He's setting a precedent for the next 100 years as a judge. He know what he's doing. He's gonna be in every newspaper. He's gonna be in books. You crazy?
Yeah, he is. ODP, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. You heard? The storm is definitely behind me, man.
Yo, when he make parole after what? After 15?
Don't even think about it, man. The hit is out. The hit is already out.
Nah, they protect them dudes, bro. You crazy?
Nah, he not gonna make it past about 3 years. About 3 years most.
Nah, because if they kill him, then that sets another precedent for the police officers. You heard that they can die. And
They killed Jeffrey Dahmer.
But that's different, bro.
That is different. I'm joking. It is different. And you're right. They're gonna protect him. You're right. I was just making a conversation, but yeah, you're right, man. They're gonna protect him. He gonna eat good. He gonna be protected. Yeah, he gonna be all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a gem. This is a gem. So you could tell your kids in the future. When the first president or the first mayor or the first politician to start de-escalating the police and start promoting military action, be ready, because they coming for your civil rights. That's how you know. Those are the steps to the loss of your country, basically. When they start telling you like, yo, we want to take the power out the police, and we want to put it more federal and more in the hands of the government, and be ready, because what that really means is fucking the dictatorship, the controls of powers.
Right.
Yeah. So that like what they doing there, that's all cool. That's fine and dandy. But if they made laws to protect the citizens instead of the police, then we get in some way. Then, you know what I mean, then we might get somewhere. But the defunding and shit like that just gives more money to the military. In reality,
That's it.
that budget got to get spent. You heard? Money on the table.
That do make sense.
Claro, that money's still on the table. You know, they got a budget, right? The country has a budget, right? All right, they took it from the police. Amen. That's nice. But that money got to get deallocated somewhere, right? Got to get spent somewhere else. So the first politician that tells you all that nonsense about that we got to take money, no, you got to put more money in cameras then, or put more money in surveillance or some other shit, like, ¿me entiende? Right. But when they start taking money and putting it on the federal level, that means more military on the streets, and there you go. Those are laws for rights, because you put military officers on the street. That was the whole problem when they got military guns and cars and all that, right? That was the problem. They had military equipment on the street.
New world order. New world order.
Yeah, because the peacekeeper, that's a state thing. ¿Me entiende? You could get control of that. You could audit the police department as a civilian force. ¿Me entiende? But the federal government, yo, you don't want to play with them, bro. You can't audit that. Like my bro told me one time, this is the smartest thing I ever heard. My bro told me, yo, bro, if everybody became the parks department, if every civilian became the parks department and the fire department, we could have control of every state. And then, because you could be armed, and you don't have to serve. Basically, you could be voluntary. But they don't tell you that part, because as the parks department, you can make civil arrest. That's the part they don't tell you. You can arrest anybody if you work in the parks department.
Wow,
but they don't.
Those be acting like police.
Yeah, but they don't work for the police.
Right, they work for they got their own agency.
Yeah, you got it, baby. You figured that.
Sorry, bro. Pardon me, bro. Gypsy, what he get? He got 30. He got what he get? What he get? He got a 15 on one, right? Oh, he got 22 on one, and then he got another seven and a half or something like that.
Now I want the headphones.
Got the prettiest headphones. Very pretty. Nah, but come on. Let's keep it 1,000, bro. He could get appeal, bro, because that's involuntary manslaughter, bro. You could get appeal on involuntary, of course, bro. And it wasn't a commission of a crime, basically. Claro.
He's not getting off, man. He's not getting off.
Claro. Yo, the United States don't work like that, bro. It works on justice.
What? Let America cool off?
Yeah, claro. Of course, bro. It works on second chances, bro. And those are prime examples of second chances under the playbook of America, bro. Claro. Of course, bro. Claro. Don't work like that, buddy. Yeah. Bro, if America worked the way you thought it worked, wouldn't they make hate speech for Puerto Ricans and Italians like fucking 50 years ago? They would have been did that. The same thing they did for the Asians. They would have been did that for the Puerto Ricans, the Irish, the Italians. They would have did it for all of them first. But it don't work like that, bro, because they didn't come with money. They came to work, but they didn't come with bread, you heard? The Asian man, he came with bread to open a business, bro. You got to protect that. Gotta protect them sidewalks.
He already they denied him. He tried to his lawyer just cracked for a retrial right before they sentenced him, and the judge denied it. He was like, "Nah, man, get out of here with that. Come back on appeal, man."
Yeah, they could appeal that. You could appeal that to the second Supreme Court, to the upper courts, claro. Because it's not premeditated, and it happened while you at the job. You understand? What people seem to forget is that he was on the job, bro. He didn't do that in his crib on his lawn. Nah, estaba en el trabajo. You could kick that up. That's reasonable doubt.
Still got a responsibility to uphold the law, bro. You can't abuse your law like that. And
But the
that's why
officers
he's
didn't
paying
stop
for it,
him.
and he will pay for it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but me entiende, on an appeal case, let's say why the officers didn't stop him. You could say that.
He was a senior. For one, he was a senior officer there, and most of them officers there was like young rookies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So one of them, right? It was like one that had like a month in the job, and one had like 3 months in, and wow. So they was like,
yo, if those people would have rushed them, you think they would have let off on the people?
Man, nah, I don't think so.
Huh?
Again, who knows? Like I, you know.
Let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it all the way 1,000. But you think they
I'm
would
gonna
have let
tell
off?
you like this: in my city, they wouldn't have been. And I believe anywhere out here, anywhere out in New York, Chicago, anywhere. I don't believe they could have just stood on somebody's neck for 9 minutes like that, and not nobody in the crowd would have been throwing.
It had to be
Somebody
there.
something, bro.
It had to be in Minnesota. That's what you.
It had to have been in Minneapolis.
It had to there.
Yeah, bro. It had to have. It had to have.
They would have rushed them. You think they would have got lit up though? That's the real. They probably would have got beat down.
I'm saying probably a scared dude shoot. I've seen scared people shoot. Ain't mean.
You see what? Yo, let's take it further. Take it all the way to reality. But let's say it happens in the hood. You think they let off on you? They say they killed the Puerto Rican dude, and the Dominicans come out the barbershop, and they start bugging out like, "Que lo que, yo, what the fuck?" They start bugging, and then the black dudes come down the building, and they rush the police while the Puerto Rican he's dead.
They're gonna let off. They're
gonna let off.
Yeah, out of fear, bro. I'm saying, these people are really that fearful of us, bro.
So that's the situation they put.
Some of them don't even really be meaning to kill us, bro. Some of them really scary. They don't need to have a gun. They so scared that they don't need to have a gun.
They are scared, bro. But they got reasons to be scared. Let's keep it 1,000, man, mano. They got reasons. I will be scared too.
That's a fact.
They got reasons, bro.
That's a fact.
Cause you can't be. It's hard to de-escalate stupid people, bro. That's hard, bro.
Word. Especially
you gotta really go to school for that shit, bro.
Especially for people that's on demon time.
Yeah, just keep it 1,000, bro. Cause there's stupid girls too that's not on demon time, but they're just ignorant, man, mano. They just, they just slow with the words.
Right.
I will be scared, man. They're like, cause that's the situation they put in the hood, and basically.
I'm scared now. I didn't used to be because I was ignorant, but now that I'm not ignorant.
Now you hip to your life.
I'm scared, bro.
You scared to lose your life, huh?
That's a fact, bro. These young brothers and sisters, they got me scared, man. And it's a shame that they got me like that. That I gotta,
Because you love life?
Yeah, I love life, man. Yeah, man. I'm not ignorant. I was ignorant before, bro.
That shit is different when you got something to wake up to, right? When you got something to wake up to, you be like, damn. If I don't wake up, if I stay in this bed, these people are gonna get upset with me. These people are not gonna be happy with me. It is different, you heard? When nobody cares if you're waking up, you could do whatever. You could be on whatever time. You could be on demon time, that's all. But when you got people depending on you to be up, shit is different, bro. That's why the killers and the realest killers and the most drug dealers, they not on demon time because people depend on them. They on money time. They're not on the time that you think they are.
Oh shit, that's crazy. Gypsy said where she at, life is only 20 years.
Not that though. That's
I'm at Jersey. Life is 30 years. New York is 25, but you might as well say New York is 30 because you ain't coming out.
Because he had the arm, he had the gun. Anytime there's a gun involved, you getting more time. Even if it's police, that power of the gun is like the power of the sword. That gun give you time, bro. That gun is no joke. That's why the military try to take your guns. Because they know.
Yeah.
They know what's up with that hammer.
Yeah.
They could die too.
Yeah.
Even a lucky shooter could shoot somebody in the face.
Wait till I'm done.
That hammer, bro. That hammer's no joke, bro. People forget. That's why they don't show women on TV. Not now they do. Now you get to see more action movies where there's women shooting. But that's for self-defense. That's to train the population that women can have guns. That's the propaganda. That's the mind K Ultra right there into play. Because now they tell women, oh, get your gun. You see action movies, Fast and the Furious, where you see women letting off. That's manipulation of the mind to get your girl to carry that nine. You heard?
Hey, yo, bro. I believe there's a such thing as a lucky shooter, man.
Of course.
King A said he don't. There's no such thing as a lucky shooter.
Yo, King Ace, go to Africa and go to war with those tribes, and you tell me if they're lucky shooters. They're not trained, and they still will blast your arms off. That's luck, bro.
Some of these dudes be just shooting, and I know for a fact they not like marksmen, and they're just because they shooting blindly, they just catch somebody on the back of their head. That's not good aim. That's just shooting blindly, and you just happen to pick somebody off. Oh, that's what's up, man. Nah, lucky ain't nobody dying. Yeah. Hey, yo.
Chill. But you just showed the video of a lucky shooter, bro. With God on his side, he didn't catch a homicide. That's a lucky shooter, bro. He got no mask on his bike.
Hey, I got a question. What's a YouTuber, man?
A YouTuber is somebody who's put content on YouTube that gets paid from YouTube. If you don't get paid, you're not a YouTuber, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Because if they get checks for boxing, you gotta get paid off YouTube, right? You have to be making money to have some type of status, some type of something. Just can't be a YouTuber, again. No. I just put 2 videos out. No. Oh, my nigga screen frozen.
Nah, stop playing. Yo, y'all was still here? I hit the plug on my computer. Yo, I swear y'all wasn't gonna be here. How the hell? Making a quick vid. Okay. Yeah, I gotta drop my start dropping my sports videos. Me and wifey gotta do the, you know what I mean, what it is to grow up to be a Muslim and be Hispanic, you know what I mean, be Latino, how we met. There's a couple things we want to touch on, man. And I'm sure that the women will be, along with the fellas, be interested to know our little story. You know? Yeah, I see y'all still here, man. Wow. Trips on the 6th. Trips on the 6th. Yeah, my bro, you funny. Gypsy, what's going on? Our sister, what's the news? Yeah, I can't wait either, man. What's the news? What's going on? What's new in the hood? Oh yeah, let's touch on that. Let me look for that real quick. Then I gotta go, all right? Here. Woman struck and killed by pickup truck in Queens. Woman steals hundreds of dollars. Let me go over there real quick. Look for it. Yeah, like I'm over here acting like y'all got all day. Well, here I come. Here I come, guys. You guys are the best.
The first class action lawsuit has been filed against the owners of the condominium that remains partially collapsed. Let's get right to Local 10's Glenna Milberg, live now from the scene with the very latest developments. Glenna.
Calvin, Nicole, within the last couple of minutes, more equipment was moved in, but I'm going to tell you it is the equipment nobody wanted to see. The medical examiner's van just came down one of the Surfside streets, headed to the other side of the rescue recovery scene where all that work is going on. And most people who know anything about the medical examiner's office knows that that doesn't happen until the medical examiner's van is needed. So it looks like they are going to be announcing something soon. And of course, we'll bring that to you. That said, the work here hasn't stopped despite recurring downpours, despite fires. And I know you just saw the aerial shot of that. Let me show you the ground view of the seriously dense smoke. And not only dense visually, but just choking and acrid for the people who are working within it. Now coming up on, 40 hours since the collapse, and the families just waiting for some answer. The governor was just here a few hours ago and addressed that.
We need a definitive explanation for how this could have happened.
Answers are achingly slow to come for the families watching this work. The cavalry is arriving today, all focused on the debris, now a moving field. More machinery, more crew power, and the single focus, the mangled mountain of people's lives.
Just start pulling some of the superficial metal from above as we start looking for additional voids from above.
The voids, a possible path to survival, but rescue crews doubt this pancaked levels hold many of those. They made their first recoveries overnight, heartbreaking finds of 3 residents. And now with sonar and dogs, concrete saws, and now the assist of federal FEMA money and resources, also state emergency management coordinating incoming crew help.
There's a total of 8 teams throughout the state, so that's an additional 6 teams have been put on standby to rotate in as needed at the request of Miami-Dade Fire Rescue.
We have structural engineers on site to assure that they will not be injured.
The round-the-clock, the work here comes with an eye on the clock. Recovery teams knowing time is running out for any possible survivors. You know, one of the resources here that we really haven't said much about is Miami-Dade County's Victims Advocates. This is a crew of people. It's an office that's up and running all the time. But in this particular situation, Victims Advocates are the ones who take the families who are waiting, who are grieving. They assist, they support people of our county in a time of their most profound grief.
I want to see the.
And hats. Give me hats. What is it?
Stop. Oh, I told you, money.
Hey, Money, come here. Come here. Look what I got.
What is that? What you got?
Back to South Florida. For now, and the partial collapse of that condo building that has left one person dead, 2 others in the hospital, and new this hour, our first look at the collapse itself from surveillance video captured nearby. We have to warn you, this is extremely disturbing, especially given how many lights were on in some of those condos inside the building when it collapsed. We're only going to show it once here, and we're going to do that right now.
Oh, wow, man. It's over, man.
It is horrifying to see, as you see the middle part.
It's scary. I'm scared. It's so scary when I see it.
Wow, bro. Yo, the building was built on sand. They built on sand. And there was a dude yesterday, like an engineer, he was describing how it was built. What up, bro? Wow, man. I didn't know that, man. They were warned and didn't listen. Blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. Yeah, there was people in there. They got 140, I believe 49 or something like that still missing. Sleeping. I believe it happened at 1 o'clock in the morning. People are sleeping. Wow, that was deep, man. Y'all seen this video? Let me. This guy, man. Hold on real quick, y'all. This guy, it's my man. Very good friend of mine, man. But he shot out, man. Share a video with y'all, then I got to go. I gotta go, you're.
To say my name right.
Tommy D, salute, brother. About to share this video with y'all, and I'm about to take a little nap. Jump on here later on if y'all feel like it.
Liquor store.
Hey, today we got one contestant that goes by the name of Rafiq, aka the Almighty Hairline. If you say my name right, look how much you can win. Hey, yo, DP, what's up, baby? Hey, look how much you can win. Not only 5. I'm gonna need my both hands for this. $10 bill. 10 $5 bill. That's $50 you can win. Hey, tell me you've been practicing. Hey, you can do better than that. Put some little song into that. Keep going. Hey, put a little shimmy shake on that. Hey, yo, hit him with the elbows. Hey, yo. What the heck is this? Hey, yo, DP. I say elbow. You got horseshoes in your hands? You smacked the color out of my face. I used to be darker. I can't feel my face. I think I got a concussion. Yo, chill, bro.
Yo, watch your mouth, bro. Never no bozo version of me, bro. What's wrong with you, kid? Nah, son is wild. Nah, he's funny, man. Oh, was more to that? There was more to that. Play it later, you heard? King Ace? You already know, kid. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a good evening. I hope y'all enjoyed the little live session. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for hitting the likes. Thank y'all for subscribing, for sharing. I'm gonna lay down for a little bit and jump on back. It's Friday, man. Jump on here later on if nobody else jumping on it. Peace, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Gypsy sister. Thank y'all. I'll talk to you later,
Tell me,